Very good evening to you. Welcome to tonight's Restorative Stretch class
Stop.
with me, Rob. Welcome to tonight's class. I hope you're well. Welcome to tonight's session. Okay, grab yourself a drink of water and take a sip of water. From there, close the doors, give yourself a nice area for you to train tonight. Okay, from there, I just want you to check around your room, make sure you've got plenty of room, move any equipment out of the way that might be in your way. For this training session, if you're on a carpet, you should be fine. But you might want a nice thick aerobic mat as well to put down underneath you. Now, tonight's class, we're looking at sciatica and lower back extension and movement. So if you spend a lot of time in the desk, this is a great class for you. Okay, so from here, we're going to find our mat. Check around one way, check around the other, make sure you're not going to hit anything around you. And from there, we're going to make a fist with our hands and place it between our feet. But now we're going to bring our back up nice and straight. And we're just going to work through our marching feet. We're going to roll our toes forward and back. Now the challenge here is to try and get the knuckles down to the ground. So again, make a fist, find that gap between the feet, roll forward and backwards on the spot. Knees tracking forward and back. Hands to your hips, bring your shoulders back, let the knees rock forward and backwards. Shoulders back into position, crown your head up to the ceiling, let your body just relax through. So the idea of restorative stretch is to restore our body's proper form and balance. So the first thing we really need to do is start from our toes and work our way up through our feet. We're rolling over the knuckles of the toes. We're trying to get the toes to allow that flexion and extension so they're getting some movement here. Now you might find yourself rocking from side to side. That's absolutely fine, absolutely normal. But now we're just going to roll our wrists. So we're going to interlock our fingers. Roll over, backwards and forwards. From here, come back the opposite way as well. And from there, relaxing the arms down by the side. From here, we stand on one leg, and we're just going to raise our left leg up and back down against the floor. And challenge here, we're going to drive our pelvis forward, bring our chest up nice and high, and see if we can hold the balance. Now, at any point, if you're finding this difficult, grab a wall, grab a chair, and work through the same movement. We want our toes facing directly forwards. The flexion here at the hip, the knee coming up nice and high. Again, chest stays up nice and high, and see if you can keep this balance, this movement here. Now the feet staying fist gap apart at the base, and they're going to stay fist gap apart at the top here. Lovely high flexion, nice big long extension. Keep working through. 3 more here. Keep it all in the same leg. 2 more. Last one here. Good work. Change leg for me. Right leg going up. And each time we're trying to extend the leg as far as we can whilst trying to maintain our balance. Now, if you find yourself going off balance, I'm loving your work. That's really important. We're building our neuromuscular pathways. The pathway between our brain, working through the nerves, to our muscles, getting them to contract in the right way. Now, have a quick look down at your foot. I want to make sure that all 5 toes are facing forward. We've got our balance through our body, abdominals nicely braced, knee tracking up nice and high, keeping the controlled movements here. 4 more here, 3 more here, 2 more, last one. Excellent. From there, shake it up. We're just going to twist across our body. Now again, check that fist gap apart for me. So between the toes here, the 2 big toes, is that gap for you. Roll over across the middle. So we're spinning around on the vertical axis of our body, twisting and turning. We're going to bring our hands up so they're at chest height. So if you're around your waist here, come up higher and maintain that balance. Rotate, torso twist. 5 more here. Looking good. Take a moment to close your eyes. Widen your fingers as well. So open them up, web the fingers out to help your body. Lovely. And relax, shake it out. From here, we're going to place our left arm over the top of our body, brushing up past our left ear. The right hand comes into the hip and pushes the hip away. We have a nice big lateral extension of the body. Our latissimus dorsi, our big wing muscle, is being extended here. We're just allowing ourselves to teapot to the side. Again, this hip pushing out the way, giving us a nice big extension through the side of the body. 5 more here, 4 more, 3, 2, and 1. Slowly coming back up. Turning over the other side, right hand reaching over the top, pushing the hip out the way again, trying to reach a little bit further. Lengthening the body, stretching, reaching every time. The movement here is key from the pelvis. We're trying to get the hips to move out the way. 2 more, 1, and we're going to go back over to the side again. Take it slow and controlled, and as always with all the exercises we do, we keep them safe, we keep them relevant, and we keep them effective. So keep it safe, make sure that your body's able to do. If you're following me, you've got some relevant exercises. And trust me, if you work through the range, you'll find it's effective. So keep going. Up we come, swapping over to the side. Big stretch, big reach. And this elbow is pointing up towards the ceiling. We're keeping this chest up nice and high. We're really working hard on getting the hips to move and slide out the way. Big movement here. And release. From there, shaking it out. Coming back to our feet again. Now, I want you to have a look down at your feet. Your big toe should be slightly turned in, and your second toe should be nice and parallel. Again, come back into marching over your feet. So you're really driving those knuckles forward and back, sustaining our position in plane here. We're going to take the arms out wide, take our thumbs up high to the ceiling, and open our fingers out nice and wide. We hold it in this big T position. We're going to retract our shoulder blades back further. The chest opens up nice and high. The crown of our head still up high to the ceiling. Now again, looking at my toes here, keep your arms up here, but I want you to feel that you're really getting over the top of the knuckle. I want you to feel that extension here, this crescent moon shape of the foot, going from the toe all the way through into the midpoint of your shin, perhaps all the way through to your knee. Okay? And also in our back here, we're trying to get a bit of what's called posterior tilt. We're trying to open up through the back and arch it. In a normal day-to-day, we sit in anterior tilt and then here. We're trying to open up our body. So looking good. From there, stretch your arms out wide in this T position up into a V position. Our palms are facing towards each other. Our fingers webbed out wide. Open up, stretch up higher. Retract the shoulder blades further. Your thumbs are anatomically pointing behind you, the fingers webbed out wide. We stretch our arms up overhead. We reach and hold here. 5 more here. 4 more. 3 more. 2 more. And 1 more. And release. Shake it out. From here, we're going to forward fold. Reaching our hands down towards our toes. Slowly pulling back up, coming back overhead. And again, forward fold, stand, stretch, reach. And again. Through, pelvis drive forward each time. Now don't worry about how quick or how slow you do this. In fairness, the slower you go, the harder the exercise. Certainly as you're lowering the arms back down after an extension, we find that our muscles have to work a little bit harder, trying to fight gravity before the arms flop back down to the floor. So keep your range good here. 2 more here. Good again. And last one. Pelvis forward, reach, and release. Okay, so from here we have our feet again, fist gap apart. Now from here we're going to flex from the hips and drop down. The jaw drops down on the chest. We feel a lovely big extension all the way through the back of our legs. Now we're going to work on our principles of gravity yoga. There are 3 that we're going to work through. Number 1 is relaxing the body as much as we can. So like a bit of wet pasta, we're just letting ourselves flop down into position here. Number 2 is we're going to work over a nice controlled breathing. So I want you to fold your arms, close your eyes, and you should feel a lovely big lengthening through the posterior side of our body. We've got our hamstrings lengthening out, coming down into the calves. We have an extension through the lower back as well. From here, we take a nice deep breath in for 4. And you're going to sigh out a deep breath for 8 seconds, slow and controlled. Now, don't worry, if you can't breathe out for 8 seconds, don't worry, that's not what the competition is about. This is no competition, this is just you working and trying to recover. Here we go again. Nice deep breath in for 4. Slow deep breath out for 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Now we're going to hold this stretch for around 4 minutes. We're going to keep these arms folded. Drop your chin on your chest, feel the lengthening through the back of the head. We're trying to keep our legs nice and strong and long. Maybe a little bit of flexion here at the knee. The body tilted and drop down into a low position. The crown of the head down towards the floor. Lovely big extension through the spine and through the back of the legs. Probably find that your legs are starting to shake here. Absolutely normal. Allow this flex. Close the eyes and just hold. Now, if you've got your arms folded, so your wrists are folded in on your forearms, you should find that it's quite easy for you to just sit in this position. Our toes slightly turned inwards, our second toes nice and parallel, our body nice and lengthened out through its position. After a while, you'll start to feel a little bit of a shudder through the back of the legs. Absolutely normal. If you find at any point that you're getting some pain, come out of the stretch. But over time, you'll start to feel yourself lower a bit further. Now, if you struggle with blood pressure, elevated blood pressure, or with headaches, you might find that this gets a little bit uncomfortable when you start to lose your balance. That happens at any point. You just slowly pull yourself out of the stretch hold, stand up, take a walk around, grab a drink of water, and when you feel ready, come back into it. Now, you know your body better than I will ever. So at any point, if you're thinking this isn't safe for you, it's not relevant, or it's not effective, come out of the stretch, walk around, and rejoin me. So the idea of this is we're restoring stretch and movement in our body. We do that by elongation of muscles, and we do it by holding for a long period of time. One of the best ways of removing sciatica, 90% of sciatic pain is usually caused by over-tight hamstrings and over-tight piriformis. And that these muscle groups tend to get too tight, they start to trap nerves in our body. If you do this on a regular basis, and I hold this stretch every night, you'll start to find improvements in your hamstrings and in your body's posture, especially if you're very, very tight in the hamstrings. Now, don't worry about if your hands are on the floor, if they're folded, if the elbows are down, if you find you need to rest on your thighs every now and again, and then come back into it. Whatever you go for is absolutely fine. Keep the extension through the back of the legs. Drop the chin on the chest, the crown of the head, drop down, flop down towards the floor. The back of the legs nicely extended, the body allowed to stretch. And again, at any point, you might want to come out of this stretch and practice this every night. Even if you did 10 seconds of this stretch every evening, you will find improvements. You'll also find small improvements in your sleep pattern as well. Now, the third element of our gravity yoga is about time. Now, the most effective time for this stretch is about 5 minutes. I want you to concentrate again back on your form for me. Have a look. Big toe slightly turned in. Second toes nice and parallel. Big toes to little toe flat down to the floor. Elbows are folded. Crown of the head drop down. Get a lovely big deep stretch through the back of the body. Again, eyes closed. Now, hopefully you're still working on 4 seconds in and 8 seconds out for your breathing. If you're not, don't worry, join in with me again. Nice deep breath in for 4. And then I want you to sigh out the breath. So you're rasping the back of the throat. In the back of the throat, we have what's called the vagus nerve. We want to try and agitate it by sighing out a deep breath. Again, last deep breath in. Hold that breath. And then sigh out a nice deep breath for 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. From there, I want you to unfold your arms. You should find that you can reach a little bit further down your shins. You might be able to get your hands to the floor. Then we're slowly going to bring our hands above our knees onto our thighs and slowly push ourselves back up through into standing. From there, the hips drive forward. We're going to take ourselves into a little bit of a heel kick. So we're butt kicking up, our heels up towards our hips. Chest stays up nice and high. Feel a lovely big extension through the back of the legs. Take a walk around your room just to release off your hamstrings. Grab yourself a drink of water. Take a sip, lick it around your lips. And allow you to hydrate and recover. Okay, so from here, I'm going to drop down into extending our latissimus dorsi. We're going to bring our left arm up and stretch it over the top. Now, we did this earlier by doing a teapot movement, if you recall, from the warm-up. From here, we're going to take our right hand up onto the left arm, and we're just going to extend it. We're going to push our pelvis further to the left and feel the lengthening out of the upper arm. Now, the top arm, we're going to try and keep parallel to the floor. We're going to grab the forearm and extend the arm away towards the side wall. You should feel a lovely big extension through the wing muscle of the body. Its job is to pull the elbow into the side. This job here is to lengthen it out and push it away. From here, our hips are shifting further over to the left side. Our fingers are extended away towards the side wall. Should feel a lovely big extension through the side of the body, wing muscle fully extended out. Now, this gets quite uncomfortable as a stretch. So make sure you're pulling on the forearm, avoiding the wrist. Come onto the forearm here. And feel the lengthening through the side of the body. The top arm, notice, isn't squashing my head down to the floor. I'm keeping it raised, and then I'm using the strength of the other arm to extend the arm. It's a wonderful stretch. It'll really help your posture. We're going to hold again for another 20 seconds here. We're going to release that and then come over to the side. Again, close the eyes, taking that nice deep breath. Slowly expel the breath. And from there, release. Awesome. Come back up to standing. Circumvent your hips. So you're going to do a bit of a hula hoop movement here. Going around clockwise. And we're going to change direction, go back counterclockwise the opposite way. From here, we're going to do the same, but on the other side. We're going to stretch both arms up again. Taking the right arm over to the side. Again, I push my pelvis over to the right side. Pushing it away from the direction that the arm has come over. Now the other arm again, we're going to reach over. And again, we're looking for this arm to be as parallel to the floor as possible. Don't worry if you're here. It doesn't matter. It really doesn't. But we're trying to get this lengthening. Now my left arm again is going to copy what we did on the other side. We're going to grab onto the wrist and we're going to extend the arm away. Again, the pelvis is shunted all the way over to the right side. The wrist is gathered and we extend the arm over. Fingers are facing palm down to the floor. The knuckles are up towards the ceiling. And we're just going to allow a bit of a twist in the torso, allowing the hips to just draw back, the arm fully extended here. Work the stretch here for about another 45 seconds. Lovely big extension through the side of the body. You should feel this nice extension all the way through the lateral side of the body. Again, try and grasp that wrist and take that wrist on a journey towards the side wall. The fingers here, they're webbed open wide. The fingertips pointing to the side wall and reached over. Again, close the eyes. Take a deep breath in. And slow deep breath out for 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. And slowly release out. Again, you'll have found that nicely stretching out through the wing muscle, this latissimus dorsi, also slightly into the obliques as well, maybe a little bit into the outside of the glutes. Okay, so from there, grab yourself a drink of water again, a little sip, lick around the lips. Try and get the corners of the mouth on this one. From here, we're going to take a seat down onto the floor. Okay, and from here, we're going to start working through on a bit of a piriformis stretch. So from here, we have our legs out nice and straight. We're going to flex our knees in just slightly. And we're going to pull the left foot over the right thigh. Our shin is going to be balanced on the right thigh itself. Okay, and for you, this might be enough. This might actually just pull into your adductors a bit, into your pectineus. And it might find it just already just lengthen out the back of your hamstring as well. If that's good enough for you, you're just going to hold that here. Okay? Alternatively, you're going to roll onto your back. Okay, from here we can bring both hands underneath the right thigh here. So both hands underneath the right thigh, the right knee that's flexed. And we're just going to just gently pull it in, feeling a nice stretch to the outside of the left glute. Now from here, we drop the chin on the chest. Again, we close our eyes. We're taking a nice deep breath in for 4. We slow exhale for 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. And again, nice deep breath in. And slow deep breath out for 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Now at this point, whichever stretch you're in, I want you to just lean your head back slightly. You take the pressure off the splenius muscle groups at the top of the neck here. So we take our head back. We can, actually, if you're on the floor, you can rest your head back and you'll be able to tilt your pelvis up towards the ceiling slightly further and pull your thigh in. Just allow your head, if you're in this position here, just to relax. It's absolutely lovely. Allow the foot that's come over the knee just to circle, just to allow a bit of movement, a bit of blood flow into that area. And also at the same time, it's just going to release your ankle joint up for you as well. Your eyes stay closed. We take a nice deep breath in for 4. And slow exhale for 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Now, I just want you to give a little wiggle. If you're laying on the floor here in your back, if you're in a seated position, that's absolutely fine. Just make sure that you're comfortable. And if you're in this arched position here with your chin off the chest, maybe just give yourself a bit of a neck extension and back into position again. Find a position that feels comfortable for you. The more pull you can generate onto the back of the thigh, the more you develop stretch through the outside of the glutes. Again, take that nice deep breath in. And as you're breathing out, rasp out the throat to the vagus nerve, feels it's been agitated. It helps you hit your parasympathetic nervous system, that rest and digest. And we're looking for the muscles to be able to rest for them to be able to stretch and extend. And from there, slowly releasing, extending both legs out. Stretch your arms out overhead, laying back on the floor if you were seated before. Push your arms out nice and tall overhead, put your toes away from the body and stretch and lengthen. And release. Okay, from here we're going to swap it over. So the right foot's going to come over the left thigh. And again, in seated position, you might just find that that is enough for you to be able to get it over. You might have your knee further forward and lowering down, because that might just be the flexibility of your knee and your hip. So walk it into whichever feels comfortable, like it's working for you. Again, when you feel comfortable with this, you can roll onto your back. And again, this time we're going to be our hands behind our left leg. The left knee can now flex to where it needs to go. We pull in. The right ankle is just above the right ankle, which is resting on top of the left thigh. Now again, you can curl into this and give it a little bit of a pull. And feel the stretch on the outside of the right hip. From here, you can also drop your head right back down to the floor. And again, feeling the extension through the outside of the glutes. And again, if you wish to, just allow the knee to flex and drop down slightly. And the knee open wide. And the thigh pulling in towards the chest. Big opening up on the outside of the right glutes. Again, allow the chin to raise back slightly, taking the pressure off the neck. And again, if you wish to, allow the head to drop all the way back to the floor and pull a little bit further on the back of the left thigh. So you're feeling a bigger stretch to the outside of the right glutes. Again, shoulder blades now relaxing back into position, head back to the floor. We breathe in again for 4. Slow exhale for 8, 7, 6. Do your last stretch for tonight. 4, 3, 2, 1. And release. Slowly allowing that leg to release. Stretch your legs out nice and long. Push your arms up overhead. Allowing your shoulder blades to come back to the floor. We're going to point our toes away from our body, feel a lovely long lengthening out through our body. Arms back towards the floor, arms fully extended overhead. Closing the eyes, take a deep breath in. And slowly deep breath out again. And from there, however you choose, perhaps rolling onto the side. Take yourself back up through into standing. We're going to take ourselves back through our stretch that we did at the start. The fist gap part between the feet. We drop down, cross the arms over, breathe out, extend overhead. We're going to do 3 here. Down, up, extend, down, up, extend. Last one. Up and extend and release. Brilliant stuff. Well worked. Take yourselves back to the start. We're going to roll the fingers one way around, the other way as well. Grab yourself a nice drink of water. Well trained. You've done that live on Facebook. Well done. Thank you. #live, #replay. We did on that. Thank you very much. Well trained tonight. Good stuff.